Hello ladies and gentlemen, so today I am going to be working on a very simple wire wrap pendant. Now it's simple, but we all know how I go with simple so far, so literally one piece of copper wire. I'm not an expert, but this is just a standard fully round, fairly small, thin copper wire. Of course, the opal that's been subjected to all of this torment is still kicking along, so using him again. And this is following a tutorial by another YouTuber that I found through Facebook. Some people were talking about her work. She's really good. Kind of like the similar level to Yvonne, which panics me already because of course she's made this look easy and it probably isn't. But it's a YouTuber by the name of OxanaCrafts. And I haven't had a look at her channel too closely yet. I've just subscribed to it and saved a video, this one. But I'll keep an eye on her videos as well and see if there's anything interesting in them. I know she's got a really simple ring design as well that I want to try with a smaller opal. But for today, we're just working on a simple pendant piece which just uses one wire cut from here. I've already cut it. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I mean, I'll try, but definitely check out her video instead. It'll be linked in the description. And one thing I will mention before I start this is currently there's this incredibly large organization, and they are giving me a pretty hard time with my wire wrapping because they're starting to show me ads about copper scrap. So here it is. This ad keeps popping up all over my Facebook, like every day. So I don't know what Zuckerberg's trying to tell me, but it can't be good. So he knows something, and I think that something is that my wire wrapping skills are still garbage tier. So we're going to work on that. Starting with this, I've basically just bent it kind of towards the center of the piece of wire. It's about 20 inches long. Oxana, I think in hers had a slightly rounder but shorter piece, and she was doing 15 inches and I'm just doing 20 because I don't want to run out and I've got no idea what I'm doing and I've never done it before, so yeah. Basically just wraps it around, ties it off. I'm just using a screwdriver. We don't have any fancy tools, and then it's just a simple matter of twisting. Simple, he says. Now she said something about how to avoid one wire just wrapping around the other. I think she said just give it a bit of a tweak off to the side. But this is literally it. I'm just twisting. So I'll do this off camera. Basically I want to twist it until it's enough to go from kind of the center point here all the way up, all the way over, and then finish towards the bottom edge here. So I'll be back once that's done. And we're back. It only took a couple minutes. I probably could have recorded it actually, but I don't know. It was pretty boring. So this is what I've ended up with. I've basically just bent it. So it was just the straight coil all the way down to here. I've bent it here. And it's basically set up so that that circle kind of sits there with a little bit of space up there because that's where the chain goes through. So that just sits there like this. We can have a nice zoom. So that'll sit there like this. These two prongs are coming just off the end here. The back here doesn't look the best. I got a little bit, because of the distance away from the hole, I started getting a little bit uneven here. So I'm sure there was a way to fix that. If I had some like nylon coated pliers, I could have just grabbed it here and then kept the twisting, but because the screwdriver was so far away, I think it got a bit loose. But we'll work with that. Zuckerberg might find this in his copper scraps bin in the end, but we'll see. Now it's just a simple matter of taking each end and feeding them through this hole that we started with. So we'll just feed one through like this. Won't pull it tight yet because it's a little bit awkward. This is the thing with those good YouTubers, the good wire weaving ones. They seem to be able to do things like just feeding this through an eyelet without dislodging the stone. I mean, look at my hand positioning here. What have I done? What have I done? They've just got a way of gripping the stones, like they've got bloody hairs on their fingers that just clamp in. Anyway, we're going in through here. Bam. And this is just hugging that bottom edge of the stone. And then this side is also fed through. And I want it a little bit symmetrical, but it's not going to be perfect, I don't think. Alright, I'm trying to look at this through the camera and it's not working out for me. Let's just hold it in place and just yank. Hold it in place and... Alright, this one's not coming through as easy. There we go. Yank. Alright, it's still got to come up a little bit. So I want it up to there somewhere. Yank. And here somewhere. Oh, Unco left hand. Do it. Bam. There we go. So now it's more where I want it. I'll just squeeze that top. Alright, that one's looking a little bit wonky. Let's just give it a nice yank. Does that look awful to everyone else? What's happening here? I think it's just a matter of getting it nice and even across the two parts. Maybe if I just... Oh, didn't even look at the back. Why is that sticking out a bit? Alright. Something like this. And then what I want to do is take this up and back and around. So something like that. And I'll do that on both sides. I kind of want this to be a little bit more even first. Up around the back. Twisting up. And across like this. Alright, they are all sorts of not in line. I wonder if I should give it a twist here. No, I won't. So that's what we're looking like from the front. Might actually zoom back a bit. So yeah, basically wrap all the way around, twist, 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 down to the bottom. Two bits come around, feed through this hole, all the way through, cross over at the back, and then all of this extra, turns out I cut way too much. Way too much. We just wrap it around here. I'll go around once that way. Once this way. And I just want to kind of alternate my wraps. So this is a little bit more inventive. I'm kind of breaking the mold and tutorial that I was following. Just because I've got extra copper here to play with. I want to go up around a couple times. I reckon I've got room for one more, so we'll go with this side. So Oxana only did this once. But me, I want to go around a few times. I've just got to make sure I don't close the whole thing off. Alright, there we go. So now I've only got, I don't know, what's that one's probably about an inch. That one's 3/4 or so. So plenty. And now I've got this nice little weave that's actually fairly symmetrical, even though I wasn't focusing too much. I can always pinch them together like this. It's always good. But yeah, and that's where the chain goes through. If I were to wear this, which I won't be. But we're all the way through like this, and then to finish this off, all she did to tie this off was not actually tied off. You just feed it through here. I'll pull it fairly tight. It doesn't matter if I clamp here, I don't think, because I'm going to cut this tiny bit off. And what I want to do is basically just wind it tight around there. I want to do the same thing with this piece here. So straight through, wrap around, This wire is pretty soft, but once you've bent it around a bit, it does firm up pretty solidly. So I'm just going to do that. And then here we go, we've got both of these. It's pretty tight around there. So what I want to do now is just get the little snips. These are actually fairly fit for purpose. They are meant for this roll. So I'm going to get these snips and I'm going to cut them as flush to the inside of the loop as possible. If you can see what I mean. So this is that one just there. And I want to just clip it somewhere like that. Now this other side one, I want to do the same thing and I want to clip it really close to inside the bezel kind of thing. Is it a bezel? I can never remember what it's called. So just like that. And then I just want to tighten those up. And in tightening them up, they are sticking out a little bit more than I would like, but overall not too bad. I can still see kind of that one sticking out a bit, so I'll give him another clip. Oh, just got it. Just got it. Alright, and there we are. Now you can reposition these a little bit, but that's actually locked in now. I was worried that this stuff was, it's really small gauge. It's only a couple mils thick, like 1 mil, so this isn't the fencing wire that I was using earlier. And I actually quite like the design. I actually think this, I could start it here and cover up this windy bit. Though the winding bit does look pretty good. I kind of only want to be able to see it up on this top bit. So I do wonder whether it would look nice if I did this a lot tighter. I mean, the back you won't see, it's only really the front. But if I did that really tight and really carefully, starting here at the top of this eyelet hole, and went all the way up and had this kind of look, I reckon that would look pretty cool. Then again, you are covering a lot of that stone up here, and if it's a nice quality opal, not like this very basic boulder, if it's a nice quality opal, you're gonna lose that top third, which is not ideal, unless that top third is really bad. You do get that in a couple opals every now and then, so I guess it really comes down to the opal. But if this is pretty garbage, or you just don't really think it's all that valuable, you could just start down here, cover up this little twist, because I just feel like it looks like it's meant to be covered, and then just all the way up, tie it off at the back here where you don't see it. I kind of still see it, which is annoying me. I reckon I can twist that tighter, and you're all good. Now this pendant is fairly lopsided, so I'm not surprised that this is a little bit lopsided, but you can move these around quite a bit to make it more symmetrical if you really wanted to. So yeah, not too bad. The tutorial for this one's only about 8 minutes long, so I knew that the process was not very difficult or lengthy. But there are a couple techniques here that I still need to work on. This twisting was actually fairly easy, surprisingly. But yeah, I think this I could have done a lot better. I reckon just one at a time, just layering them one over each other. It causes some point where it overlaps, but as long as you keep that at the back and the side you don't see it, when it's hanging like this, it's kind of alright. Pretty cool. So yeah, give that one a crack if you've got a suitable opal for it. I'm sure this could be done for any shape really. I don't know how it would go with a perfectly round cabochon, but teardrop, pear, that kind of shape, maybe even like a oval, it would probably work. So yeah, have a crack. I can recommend that one as a fairly easy one. Unfortunately, the only scrap that Zuckerberg's going to get are these little fronds here. Though I'll probably cut it free from this setting, like I have all the other ones. Cut it free, and this poor abused piece of boulder will actually, yeah, continuously get punished because I've got another wire wrap ready for it. So yeah, maybe a little bit more complicated the next one. Moving up slowly. if you've got any ideas or any suggestions, then feel free to leave them below in the comments or just message me on Facebook or whatever. A lot of you have been doing that, and I've found a lot of things. Like, I want to try a chainmail setting as well. I think it's actually just called mail, but a mail setting, and see how that looks. Basically just want to try a whole heap of these little crafty things. So yeah, this is the end of that one. Pretty basic, pretty simple, single wire kind of pendant. Could do it a little bit better, but all in all, I kind of like it. And it took me about 10 minutes, maybe less. So yeah, highly advise it. Check out Oxana's channel. She does this one really quickly and also has some more complicated patterns. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.